Welcome back to Teesside. The Mini GP 160 class is up next, and earlier I spoke to the top three in qualifying. Frankie, P3 at the first round of the season. You happy with that in qualifying today, based on your performance so far this weekend?
Yeah, very happy. Obviously there's a lot of tough riders and in the FIM class, and it's very hard to be consistently at the top.
And what would be a good result for you this weekend?
Podium.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Wilson, Teesside for the opening round of the season. Is this a track you've been to before?
Yes, I've been here 4 times.
And you like this track, I guess. P2 today, is that where you thought you'd be, or were you hoping for pole?
Yeah, it was a roundabout, right.
And you can win from there, obviously, can't you? What would be a good result for you this weekend?
Hopefully a top 3.
Tyler, you were looking pretty quick out there today. Pole position, is that what you expected?
Yeah, it was really good actually. We tried to go for a good lap and we got it in the end.
And I guess for you, now you're starting pole this weekend, you're only really looking for a win, I guess.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get a good start and make the way to the first.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thanks.
Here we go then for the Ovale 160s. This is a very competitive race coming up. Tyler Humphries and Wilson Dilks on the front row. Frankie Watson and Hudson Cooper on the second. Then Chloe Gleeson, Dan Stevenson, Josh Herring, Leo Soliu, Lucas King and Ollie Everts. I would guess there is at least 5 potential race winners in that top 10 from this one race alone. Ollie O'Gorman, Leo Hams and Joe Cooper round out the field. And yes, Ollie O'Gorman is the younger brother of British Talent Cup winner Casey O'Gorman, who came through this very paddock himself back in the day. So plenty of great riders to come in this one. I genuinely think we've got several contenders for the win. Off we go. And it is an absolute cracker of a start. 3 wide to the first corner. That's Hudson Cooper. Hudson Cooper's launching forward from 4th on the grid. He has shot through like a bullet out of a cannon. Amazing stuff. Through he comes into the lead of the race. Second is Wilson Dilks. Third place is Tyler Humphries, and Frankie Watson is struggling to hold back Chloe Gleeson. This is an amazing start from Hudson Cooper. He's just shot forward, and look at it. The 3 riders already absolutely wrestling. Wilson Dilks trying to wrestle the lead off Hudson Cooper in 2nd position, and there is Tyler Humphries, the man who started from pole position, now currently in 3rd place. We have got an absolute thrill fest of a race coming here. Dilks trying to get down the inside of Cooper. Watch out for Tyler Humphries. He's going to dive in on the inside and wrestle second from Dilks. Brilliant racing from Tyler Humphries. Now he's up into P2.
The man from Brecon in Scotland, now P2. But it is Hudson Cooper here that leads. Started P4, but what a start. He was off the blocks like something else.
Yeah, very.
But how long is he going to stay in front though, Jake?
Oh, Tyler Humphries is going to come straight back on the inside. It's not going to be long at all. Brilliant from Tyler Humphries. He settles the deal at the end of the first lap. So that spectacular launch from Hudson Cooper has only got him a net 2nd place now. Meanwhile, the young Essex lady, Chloe Gleeson, has done a terrific job off the line. She's now up into 4th place ahead of Frankie Watson, who started on the 2nd row of the grid. Don't forget, watch out, you've got Wilson Dilks coming through to 2nd place. So Wilson Dilks takes on Hudson Cooper. We've already had more overtakes in the first lap and a half than you're going to get out of the average Formula 1 race. Brilliant stuff. An excellent racecraft for the lead as Tyler Humphries takes back possession of the lead of the race, and Wilson Dilks has taken back 2nd. 4th position, Watson and Gleeson are having a terrific race of it. Watson's just taken back 4th place from Chloe Gleeson for the time being. So great racing from those two. It's very, very hard to know where to look at this point. Is it the battle for the lead or is it the battle for 4th place? Because both battles are pretty exciting at the moment, I have to say. Out through South Bank. Humphries your leader, then Dilks, then Hudson Cooper back down to 3rd position after that beautiful move from Wilson Dilks into Rib Bend. They come out of hairpin 4 and up through the dogleg, and now Wilson Dilks has got his sights set on the leader, Tyler Humphries. They come across the line at the end of the 2nd lap. Humphries, Dilks, Cooper, then it is Frankie Watson back in front of Chloe Gleeson. 6th position, Josh Herring, and then it is Dan Stevenson and Lucas King. But out in front, an absolutely sensational race developing. Look, Wilson Dilks is eating away at this advantage. Tyler Humphries is not going to have a dominant victory here at all because Wilson Dilks is absolutely chomping at the bit, trying to get through as he comes up the reverse corkscrew and on to the Pope Straight. This is going to be a very tough race for Tyler Humphries to win with Wilson Dilks in this mood.
Hudson Cooper just starting to lose the back of him though, Jake. Had a good start, but these two have got some pace out front. We had a great three-way battle in the earlier 190 class, and the 160 class here proving to be just as good.
Out of the hairpin, down the back straight. Tyler Humphries actually getting a little bit defensive, knowing that Dilks is going to get there. 3 different racing lines from the top 3 riders as they ride through South Bank, absolutely on the perfect lean angle for each rider. They've got 3 different stances, but it works for each of them. That's what I love about motorcycle racing. You really get to see the personality and the character of the racer on these bikes, because you see it physically in their body as they work their way through each apex. They have very different stances, and it all comes down to feel. What does it feel from a natural standpoint for these racers? You've just got to pick what feels natural to you. And it's always fascinating. You see very different interpretations of the racing line on these bikes. Up the reverse corkscrew again. Humphries, Dilks, Cooper, Watson and Gleeson still having their little duel for 4th place, although Frankie Watson seems to have settled that battle for the moment. There's a big gap back to Stevenson and Herring, who are still dueling away for P6. Then Lucas King, Leo Hams, Ollie Evitts, Ollie O'Gorman and Leo Soliu trying to dive up the inside. Dilks still fancies his chances, but the fastest man on the road at the moment is Hudson Cooper, a 1:14.3. He's taken 3/10 off both the leaders, who were only separated on the last lap by 1,000th of a second. There's nothing between them.
Absolutely incredible. Cooper with the fastest lap at the moment, but he doesn't have track position. This class, by the way, is for riders from 10 years of age. Now, you might be watching this thinking, blimey, these bikes look like they're doing about 70 miles an hour. I think they are doing 70 miles an hour. You can be on them from 10 years of age. Now, I'm not suggesting Humphries, Dilks and Cooper particularly are 10 years of age. They're older than that. But the likes of Ollie O'Gorman further back, I can't think he's going to be much more than 10 years of age. I know he's Casey O'Gorman's brother, younger brother. But yeah, interesting, isn't it? 10 years of age on motorcycles that are going this fast.
Something's happened to Hudson Cooper's transponder. He's still there in 3rd position, but he's fallen off the timing screen. Now, that could potentially lead to an issue of some kind. I know the transponder is not connected to the bike, but that could be a potential issue for us to worry about later. We've just got to remember that Hudson Cooper is actually in 3rd position behind Humphries and Dilks. He hasn't dropped out.
Now, the timekeeper will place him back in manually when he gets the opportunity. He'll see that he's gone through the line. There will be, generally, there's a manual timekeeper. It keeps a track of all the bikes as they go through, just in case of this sort of situation. But you should see Hudson Cooper's name pop up in the timing on the left back into 3rd place at some point when the timekeeper notices.
It'll certainly be at the end of the race, because there's nothing the rider's doing wrong. He's not being disqualified from a race or anything. It's an electrical issue. It's a problem with the transponder, and it's out of the rider's control, so he will obviously be given his position back again. Now, look how close it's got between Dilks and Humphries. There's a yellow flag out on the circuit, so somebody has gone down, or maybe there's a problem with a tyre barrier out of position or something. But yellow flags. We now go through green, so whether that's debris or a rider out of the race, we don't know. At the moment, it looks as though all the riders are still on the road, so maybe it's for debris, and maybe the marshal's just got to move it back out of position, and then it's going to be okay again. So back into position. Oh, it looks like all sorts of issues with the transponder at the moment, because now it's Chloe Gleeson. Chloe Gleeson's gone. So clearly that's the reason why we had yellow flags out. So Chloe Gleeson is out of this race. That is very disappointing indeed for her, because she was up there in the top 5, looking potentially on course for a 4th place at one stage. So very unfortunate for Chloe Gleeson.
This is the battle for 8th place. Great pictures, as always, from the drone this weekend, trying to cover this end of the circuit. The wind this weekend is pretty strong, but not strong enough to keep the drone on the ground.
And the thing about crosswinds, obviously, on these bikes with these young riders, it can get very hairy if the crosswinds are too high. This is just about what the riders can cope with. Humphries and Dilks still out in 1st and 2nd. Hudson Cooper is still in 3rd. Let's not forget that. He is still there. The transponder hasn't quite updated yet, so now it has. There you go. Frankie Watson 4th. Dan Stevenson in 5th place. Then it's Josh Herring, King, Hams, Evitts, O'Gorman, Soliu, and then it is Joe Cooper. But there are some amazing race battles going on. Check out this one. We've got Hams, Evitts, O'Gorman, Leo Soliu is in that mix, and Joe Cooper is right there as well. And again, we've said this time and time again, okay, you're not racing for the win, but it's very important when you've got a battle between 4 other riders, you've got to be the one that comes out on top. You've got to be the one that sets the stance.
Solio down there in 9th place, Jake. I think you would have expected something better than that.
Well,
Probably
not
got
for
a
long.
problem with the bike.
Now up to 8th place, dives through. Oh, he makes a mistake on the exit. He got into 8th place past Leo Hams and then lost it straight away. So, yeah, that kind of plays out what you're suggesting, Alan. Maybe he's not quite comfortable with the bike as he should be. So there is the battle for the lead. Look how close Wilson Dilks is now to Tyler Humphries. He is literally spitting out his exhaust fumes as he goes through. There is that battle still for 8th position. Soliu has regrouped. He's now coming back for Leo Hams. Through Wiggles. It's fantastic. It's really hard to know which battle to look at. And now Soliu is under pressure from Ollie Evitts. Here comes Evitts on the inside. Hasn't quite been able to get there. So Soliu still hangs on to 9th. Evitts is very much charging forward, trying to keep the statistics favourable for him in this one. 10th place is nice. 9th would be better. 8th would be even better than that.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Jake, about coming out on top of your little battles. This is important because this might be for 8th place this time, but this time next year, round 1 of the championship, these riders with extra experience, this could be the battle for the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you want to come out on top of these little battles in the midfield. But a great battle this is.
And this isn't like other sports like rugby or tennis or cricket or football where you do all your learning behind closed doors. You are learning on the job, under the gaze of the spotlight of the cameras in this sport. It is so tough to deal with. Here come the leaders once again. Humphries and Dilks. Hudson Cooper, after his amazing electrifying start, is just watching them get smaller and smaller in the distance. This 8th place battle is intoxicating. It's going to get spicy if we're not careful. Hams, Soliu, Evitts, O'Gorman and Cooper still nose to tail. Let's see what Soliu can do. Out of Wiggles into hairpin 1, gets close. The trouble is the bike just pulls across where you want to position the front fairing, and that's going to be very tricky to then come back off the turn. Onto the back straight again. Here comes Ollie Evitts. Having another chance. Is that Evitts now in front, actually? We missed that the last time they came round, but Evitts had got in front of Soliu. Soliu comes back at him. Evitts chops across around the outside. Is that all you've got, Leo? You're going to have to try a much better trick if you want to overtake me, Sunshine. So Ollie Evitts has worked his way into 9th position at the expense of Leo Soliu, and Ollie O'Gorman wants a taste of it now. Here comes Ollie O'Gorman on the 88 bike, the red machine, trying to take on the 9th place man, or the 10th place man, sorry, Leo Soliu. Here come the leaders again, and look how close they are. Tyler Humphries and Wilson Dilks. There's not even enough space between them for an A4 sheet of paper, and we're going into the last lap. Here we go. Tyler Humphries looking strong. This battle for 8th place is still cooking on. Has Evitts lost that 9th place again? I think he might have done. I think Soliu's got him again. So this is so important to just keep the confidence, keep pushing. Leo Hams is going to be working hard here to try and shake off Evitts and Soliu. And here come the leaders again. Humphries versus Dilks. Dilks needs a good exit off the reverse corkscrew. Is this going to be enough? He's got a lot of purchase on the throttle. Will he come through? Side by side. And Dilks takes the lead on the last lap. He's got Tyler Humphries. Talk about perfect timing. Now Tyler Humphries has got to try and come back at him. He takes a wider trajectory through hairpin 1. Can't get back in on the inside of hairpin 2. Tyler Humphries having to go offensive now. Wilson Dilks is getting a little bit offensive. Here he comes through South Bank. Can Tyler Humphries get back on the throttle? Goes the long way round. Up to hairpin 3. Trying the switcheroo move. Can he chop back across to the inside? It's now going to be about who accelerates out of the turn faster. Can Tyler Humphries out sprint Wilson Dilks? They're going to come to the line. It's going to be close, but it is going to be Wilson Dilks by 0.11 of a second. How close is that? And Wilson Dilks snatches the victory from Tyler Humphries on the final tour. Absolutely terrific. Wilson Dilks wins from Tyler Humphries. Then Hudson Cooper in third ahead of Frankie Watson and Dan Stevenson. Josh Herring, Lucas King, and in that almighty battle for 8th, it's Leo Hams who gets the position ahead of Leo Soliu, Ollie O'Gorman, Ollie Evitts, and Joe Cooper. What a terrific opening race.